Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/PBT and browse the unmatched selection of audio programs. Download the title free and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audibletrial.com/PBT, bitch.
Anime has led me to cry millions of times.
Hi, and welcome back to the Peanut Butter and Triggered El Podcaste.
Ooh, nice.
I am your host, Jacob, and I have one of my other co-hosts here,
Scott.
And unfortunately, Jay couldn't make it to the podcast today because he actually is one of the victims of coronavirus. So it's just Scott and I today. We're gonna get the ball rolling. So let's start off with our PDW, right?
You want to know how masturbating so loud makes it so my mic doesn't pick it up?
Somebody take Jay's soundboard away from him.
Yeah.
Hi guys, it's me Scott.
You should have did that for his intro. All right. Anyway, and also I'm joined by.
It's Jace. What's up?
All right, loser. All right, cool. Nailed it.
Hey, you know what we're going to talk about? Something that you have all been dastardly, violently waiting for, and that's our we're going to talk about Parasite, a movie that took me by surprise and maybe you.
I'm coming.
Hey, we're going to talk about PDW news, and hey, a little 10 and 20, which I haven't even pulled up yet. Awesome!
I have the movies.
All right, I'll pull up the games from 10 years ago. Hey, Jay, you want to talk about what you're playing, doing, and maybe possibly watching?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. I just finished up Outsider on HBO. I give it a big fat stinking. Now that I've had a chance to think about it, I did originally give it a C- because of the ending. Now I'm giving it a D+ because that ending was so terrible. And then looking back, like the dialogue at times was so unwatchable or unlistenable, I should say, because they ripped it from the book and put it into the TV show, and it just didn't translate well. And
isn't that what the viewers want?
Yeah, and I'm gonna refrain from giving away any spoilers, but there's not any payoff when it comes to the antagonist, both like with the origin or with what everybody wants to see. And to add things up, it also is going to be set for it's set up for a season 2. Who knows if it'll even get a season 2? If it does, I have no idea where they'll even go with it. So it was a D+.
It's not my pick. It sucks.
That's the truth.
And I actually started a documentary series on Netflix called It's the I can't remember what it's called actually. It's the case about Gabriel Fernandez, about like an 8-year-old boy who after several warnings and several investigations by Child Protective Services and Sheriff's Department, this poor kid was tortured to death, and it's everything leading up to it. It's really sad. It's super weird because I've never watched something that's kept me on the verge of tears the entire time. What they did to this boy is unimaginable.
Sounds like anime.
It's called The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez.
I saw it's it's on the main page of my Amazon. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's unimaginable what this kid had to go through. It's pretty terrible.
Some people are just terrible people.
Oh yeah, and these might be some of the worst people I've ever heard of. So we're halfway through it. We haven't finished it yet. And then let's see. I'm still caught up with Curb Your Enthusiasm. The last episode just got better. Has a excellent performance by John Hamm. I just found out that Katie really likes John Hamm, so it makes me feel like less of a man. And
I'm more of a Honey Ham kind of guy.
John Hamm is just. I mean, what do you expect? Look at that guy, dude.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He's the whole package, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I want to say, music news. I just listened to the new Tennis record all the way through, and I'm really stoked because I'm actually going to go see them pretty soon. So for music nerds out there, I think I had mentioned this group in the past, but it's like almost like it's kind of like Carpenters meets like I would say it's like a modern version of like Carpenters, but like with a like an indie rock sort of feel and like really cool reverb on the guitars and stuff. So if you're into that idea, go check it out. They're really good. It's a husband and wife duo, and they're completely self-produced and they have their own record label. It's really cool.
That's cool.
And then playing. I saw that 2K20 was on sale, so I bought a used copy of it for $20. So I'm playing that, playing the career mode. I'm not even kidding when I say this. It's literally the same game as 2K19. So that myth is proven. There are slight changes.
Loot boxes where like just even to get like a regular like not shoulder strap, but like a.
No, you think of Live.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an EA joint.
So like they erased the 19 and just put a 20 there.
Yes.
And then
Yes. I'll post a screenshot of the logo comparison because like on the Switch, because I bought for the Switch, you have like the little icons on your main screen or your main hub. You have each of those logos side by side. The font's exactly the same. The backdrop's exactly the same. It's just the only difference is it says 2K20 instead of 2K19. So I'll post it. And then I also caved and I bought Skyrim, so I'm going to start that up pretty soon again. And shut your fucking mouth, Jacob.
Dude, to this day, Skyrim's still a good game, like whatever,
Yeah.
10 years later.
Yeah, and I'll be able to just take it with me wherever I go. So, and then now I'm also going to dust off Mortal Kombat on the 13th, 17th, to play a Spawn.
He looks cool, dude.
Yeah, he looks like he might be overpowered.
Who is he?
Your mom?
Spawn?
Oh, yeah, she's pretty OP.
Yeah. Say hello to your mother for me. He's a comic book character from the 90s. And he just had like a cult following. What's that?
He's an American anime.
Yeah. American anime?
If I had to describe it, like honestly, that's literally how I describe it. It's like
No, he's a comic book character. He's created by Todd McFarlane. It was Image Comics, I think it was, that published him. He's a Hellspawn that came back to Earth to take care of some unfinished business.
With a really fucking dope art style, dude.
Yeah, super awesome art style. They even did that because I remember before I was telling y'all that I watched the animated series on HBO because it's on there in its entirety and it was really really good. Kind of weird though. But yeah, if you haven't gotten the chance to get acquainted with Spawn, definitely do so. I'd skip the live action movie because it was pretty watered down and they took a lot of creative abilities away from the people that made it because it had to be PG-13 instead of rated R. But there is talks about there being a rated R Spawn coming out in the future, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But that's it.
Just to touch on that real quick, one time I was down. Do you know where Dark Horse is down in Milwaukee? Yeah. Across the street from that, I don't know if you've ever walked around Milwaukee. There's like a little like I don't know how to describe it. It's like not a junk store. It's more of like a consignment store. And there's like a lot of nerdy stuff in there, Legos and such. And Dark Horse actually, I believe, published this volume they had in there. And it was autographed by Todd McFarlane, and it was $40.
He also helped create Venom, I think. The character Venom.
Very, very similar style.
Yeah. I'm going to look that up.
That's what I was thinking.
That's super cool. But that on Mortal Kombat, he looks like, dude, that's Spawn.
Dude, the variants look awesome too. If you got a chance to like really like dive into that trailer for his his movesets. Yeah, he looks awesome.
He goes invisible too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, be interesting to see how that is. I guess I'll do mine. For my watching. Playing, I am playing Tarkov and being depressed because it's gotten so popular. The Chinese hackers have run rampant.
Finally.
It's like really depressing. The thing is they found a hack to pull shit out of your inventory. So people are going in to raid with like a dope ass gun and like all this nice shit, and like literally they're standing there walking and their gun disappears out of their hand and their backpack disappears off their back and they're like naked. Yeah. Which is like super frustrating in a game like that where what you bring in, is like really valuable. And you're basically risking what it's almost like a gamble. You're spending all this money on the gear in order to hopefully survive. Yeah, similar. And so it's really frustrating when you just lose it all for like no other reason other than like someone hacked,
God, do the devs have like a fix for that or?
Dude, they're working furiously.
Oh my God.
Because it grew so quickly. They said they're literally working 24/7 around the clock. They're installing new servers every single day because it went from like very few people playing it, to being the most popular thing on Twitch,
That's
like
crazy.
Shroud, Dr. Disrespect, like Summit 1G, like all these people playing it now.
That of all the hacks, like there's speed hacks, there's aim hacks, but like a hack where you go around and you steal people's shit and like where that's like the point of the game, that's just shitty. They
can also pick up anything around the map. So there's like all these videos of people going into like, they call them, there's like the marked rooms, these like these rooms where you can loot, and they'll go to grab something, it'll just disappear. And it's because somehow they have this hack that you can just pick up shit and like instantaneously have it in their inventory. Which is totally game ruining, and they're like 98% Chinese. It's very similar to what happened to PUBG. Like everyone has, I think it's called like EETV or something, but basically it's an internet cafe.
Yeah.
Like log in, and it's all the same like Chinese people. So people are saying that they should region lock China, but then they're saying, well, they can just use proxies. So they're trying to get a lot of people really want a ping lock. So that you can't get in with like high ping.
That's so hard though. Like, what if you just have bad internet?
Yeah, I think that they're just saying like too bad.
That's really hard. I mean, they all have coronavirus right now too, so it's like they all they have to do is just play Tarkov all day.
Literally, a lot of people like. There's one map. It's just called Labs. It's extremely expensive to buy a key card just to get into the map. Like, you can't just go to the map. You actually have to basically pay money to get in, like a lot. And then you go in and to instantaneously have all your shit stolen out of your like backpack, and then like people were killing themselves because there's this secure container. Like anything you get in there, you get to keep, and you get to like. No, even if you die, you get to keep it. People were saying that they were trying to take the shit out of their secure container. So they were killing themselves in order to like keep the secure stuff, which is like crazy because that's like all really high value stuff you would never want to lose. So yeah, that's my playing. I've just been sick mostly, and my son's been super sick. It's been terrible. And then watching a Curb Your Enthusiasm. We have the finale to watch of season 8, I want to say, which is the episode's called Fatwa. So it should be interesting to see what happens with that. It's getting better for sure, I think. And then I think that's all I'm playing, doing, and watching. What about you, Jacob?
So, playing. I'm still playing Apex. I don't know, man. Apex is so addicting. Like, I feel like that's the only game. I mean, that is the only game I've been playing. But also, to go with playing, I just bought a commander deck for Magic.
Ooh, look at you go.
I know. So I just sleeved all my cards and can't wait to. I have a Magic.
Hmm?
Yeah, I've been playing for years. I usually play Modern, but my manager at my where I work, he plays Standard, so I went out and bought a Standard deck. I'm kind of pissed because I spent like $300 on the deck. and it's not standard anymore.
You just go
So-
all or nothing. You spent $300.
I mean, on that one,
Oh,
I went to a store. I said, "Hey, what's your best standard deck?" And he said, "Oh, this one. It's pre-built. It's $300." I was like, I don't want to spend that much money. And then he's like, "Oh, it's all way off." I was like, "Fuck. All right, cool. I'll take it."
Damn, dude.
So- I know. So I took that, and then I have my modern deck still, and then I just bought a commander deck because I have a friend who always lived in like further out in Oregon, and I just bought a house out, and I'm like 5 minutes from him, so he started playing commander. So I just bought. It was like a $30 deck. It's not like anything impressive,
Yeah.
but just to play. So I can't wait to start playing that. And then I've been debating on playing the new WoW. I'll go over it more in news, but there's a new expansion that just came out.
Wow.
But are you trying to be funny? What? Serious?
If you're ready, I think it's okay with Jay. You can just start news if you just want to start it. If you're done with your PDW.
Well, I gotta do it and watching.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying when you finish, continue on to your WoW.
Okay. So doing, I got just been like putting up like cameras and shit in my house. I had somebody looking through the windows, so gotta high security that shit. And then watching, I just started watching. I'm on season 13 of Supernatural now with Kylie, but Jay's actually gonna love this. Watched episode 1 of oh fuck, what's it called? What's that one that Panda keeps talking about? Blind Love. Love is Blind. Love is Blind.
That's so stupid, dude.
Oh, dude,
my
it's
God.
so good. It's so good.
You like that show?
I don't know. I just started and I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just, it gets you. Like, I watched the semi-season finale. It was like the one before the finale. And it looked good. I was like, oh, wow. But it's also like kind of petty. Like, these people fall in love and they've only met each other for
They obviously are falling
a
in
week.
love, dude.
Well, I guess they have like, you know, like when you first meet the girl, like when you first, like I first met Kylie, everybody like first meets a girl, like there's like that fling period.
It's called
Like
courtship.
they're all in that, and then they get
Honeymoon
married.
phase.
Yeah, honeymoon phase. That's the term I know.
So I think it's time that I stop talking shit about it. Katie's seen it twice because she had to watch it at like this bachelorette / bridal party that she went to.
Love is Blind.
Yeah. And then she's seen it once by herself, and then Panda fucking loves it. Maybe you and Panda can go have a viewing party, and then you guys can talk all about it and go 69 each other.
Maybe. I mean, we'd 69 each other. That'd be great, but I think that the talking, getting our emotions out and crying would probably be better.
Figured you guys
I'm
could-
coming.
in Panda's mouth. But and then also I just started up a new anime called Blue Exorcist.
I'm
It's
coming.
great. I watched the first episode. God damn it, Jay. And and it's really good. It's actually really, really good. I had no idea what it was about. I got recommended it by 2.0, and honestly, it's one of those things. When I don't know what anime to watch, I watch Gintama, however you want to pronounce it, because it's like 300 episodes, and it's really good. But I don't want to burn through that, so I've been watching that. That's it.
Gintama.
Okay.
But and then so I can go straight into news. As far as news goes, I do have two kind of Apex and WoW updates. Phase 3 for Classic WoW just released. Everybody can finally play Blackwing Lair, which everybody's been kind of gearing up for. It's kind of like one of the bigger expansions where you can finally move into good gear, into like end game content gear, which has just been crazy. Like every time I go, I actually haven't even played Phase 3 yet. I've just been playing because Apex is just so good. But I've been every time I watch a YouTube video, because I don't have YouTube Red, I see ads for it. So I mean, WoW finally has ads again, which is good. And then I know, dude. Plus, the last ad they had was the one with like Mr. Payne, Pusha T, whatever his fucking name is. I don't remember what his
Pusha T.
I don't know. I don't remember what his name is, but he's like,
Mr.
I have a WoW gift. Yeah, Mr. T. Yeah, the guy with the freaking mohawk or faux hawk? Mohawk. It was mohawk. And I know.
I remember when he used to do those. He was doing all those advertisements back in the day.
Yeah. My name's Mr. T. I play WoW.
And I pity the fool.
I'm a night. What do you say? I'm a night elf mohawk.
Yeah, like it's just like a night elf running around with a mohawk. It's like a death knight, dude. It's so funny. And then also for Apex, they're kind of I know Apex probably isn't the number one Royale game, but I think they're the most innovative when it comes to Royales. So they have a new map that they've been doing for the last 2 seasons, or last season, but this season they're doing a split where they're gonna do half of a season on their old map and then half a season on their new map but updated. And they had some like backpack updates where people are kind of complaining about that, but I think people don't really see the big picture on that. But that's just pretty much my extent of news, that Apex is doing kind of a split map season, which is huge because the Royale scene is kind of new, but it's something that nobody's done
crowded
before.
with Call of Duty in there, especially if Call of Duty's free.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to poke off that, but you can go ahead and talk about Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty launches. What's it called? What do they call it?
Modern Warfare 2.
No, it's like a war mode or something. I don't remember. Warzone. Duh. What am I stupid? So yeah, they launched that. 150 guys. The cool thing, I think it's cool. I know Jay's not as impressed, but when you die, you get thrown into the gulag, and in essence, you watch people 1v1, and then you're thrown into a 1v1. If you win that 1v1, you actually get to go back into the game and rejoin your team, which is a kind of cool idea. I think it's something different, that's for sure. But the coolest thing is it's cross-platform and it's free for everybody. So if your buddy's playing on PC or whatever, you guys can all play together.
I think that's cool. The only I bet you kind of agree with me on this, Scott, since we're both like kind of the VR people. You're gonna join a game like if it works like any battle royale, there's a closing zone, and you come back and you respawn with no gear, right? No nothing.
I don't know on that. I think it's no gear. Yeah, I think you just come back like naked and you just like loot again.
Like we both know, if you come back at the end of a BR with no gear, like you're just useless.
Yeah, but the cool thing is you can still fucking Leroy Jenkins and win the whole thing.
I guess that's true.
Cool like turn of events, you know.
I guess that's true.
You never know. Obviously, I'd say, which I think that it should be like that. Like you shouldn't come back after you die. You shouldn't come back 5 minutes later like completely kitted. Like it makes sense. You get a second chance. You know, but you have to actually like work your way back up in order to shoot people.
I just wonder, like, how many people can come back after the BR, and does it make sense for a BR?
Yeah, I'm just not 100% sure. It just got released today. I literally, when I got home, I started downloading the update. So I guess next week I'll probably have an update on if it's like good. I do know Call of Duty is really fucking fun. It has really clean, like gunplay, and I like the map's gigantic. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. I think it looks cool.
Good.
Other gaming news. Twitch streamer. His name is Soar Carl. I guess it was Soar Carl. He was on the professional gaming team Soar. During a Twitch, he got drunk, pulled out his Glock, and accidentally fired it in his room on Twitch.
That's a desk pop.
Yeah.
It totally was a desk pop.
Luckily, the bullet actually stopped in his metal coffee mug, which is like amazing because it is a 9mm, I think.
Which you can see.
And
in the video.
He said he destroyed a $1,000 monitor, but that's like separate from the situation, you know? I don't know if you guys watched his like apology video. I thought it was really like heartfelt. He basically was like, I don't deserve any, like, he's like, I know that guns aren't to be played with. I was drunk. I was playing with a gun. I basically ruined my own life. I don't blame Twitch. I don't blame anybody but myself. I'm just like really disappointed in myself for like getting out a gun and shooting it and basically ruining his own life. So,
you know what's funny is he said, I swear I emptied the chamber, but you literally see him put one in the chamber.
Yeah, well, so what he did is he racked it, and you see around eject, but you have to drop the mag and then rack it.
He
He
didn't.
didn't drop the mag. Yeah, he just racked it. So just put another round right in the chamber.
Yeah.
Boom, he fires it. So like he was just drunk and being stupid and not paying attention to the fact that he kept the magazine in.
You want to know how I know he's stupid, even despite being drunk? Is he spent $1,000 on a fucking monitor?
He literally streamed for a living, like.
No monitor. Even professional streamers should not spend $1,000 on a monitor. There's no monitor that's $1,000.
I don't
That
know.
is
Yeah,
gonna-
what monitor is $1,000?
Exactly. Maybe
It's
with
cra-
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm watching it now. So he literally picks up the gun, racks it, which puts a round in the chamber, and then
Empties it.
and fires it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just craziness, dude. But I mean, all in all, lucky. Like no one was hurt. Like he's gonna survive. There's no one in the next room who's hurt. Like that shit, that negligent just discharge shit can be really scary, dude. I've heard some pretty terrible stories of people getting hurt by stupid shit like that, not paying attention. You should
Or like shooting a gun through a wall and hitting somebody on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think that's really all I got for big news. Jay, do you have anything you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. So, first thing is that apparently in the latest development, because today, now that we're recording, is March 10th, it's Mario Day. Levi's is going to be releasing special edition Mario themed overalls, and some shirts that are like just littered with like Mario characters. These overalls actually have like a graphic of like a digital coin going into the back pocket. They'll be available April Fool's Day. So we'll see if it's real.
When is Mario Day?
Say that again.
Today, March 10th.
Oh, he's asking Siri.
Okay. I had to make sure.
This motherfucker. So yeah, they're releasing their own line of Mario themed clothing. What do you guys think of that? Are you guys gonna go out and buy some Mario clothing, or are you just gonna pass on it?
Can I ask
I'll
you a
probably
question?
pass.
Why is Mario Day 310?
Because if you spell out March or you abbreviate it, and then the day is 10, it spells
okay.
out Mario.
Got it.
Yeah.
You goddamn nerd.
And then in other news, this is kind of funny / serious / topical. Pokemon Go Safari events are closed, or I should say postponed, due to the growing concerns of coronavirus. So, Pokemon Go actually scheduled an event March 27th through the 29th in St. Louis, and it's been postponed because of the insanely contagious COVID-19 coronavirus. And then at this point, they may not, I mean, depending on like how the outbreak develops, they may not even continue with those safari events. So
What happens
we'll see.
at the safari event exactly?
If you remember playing the video games, you would go to a safari zone and you just go to town and just like catch as many Pokemon as you can. This is kind of the same thing where you would go to a certain like geofenced area in the game, and it would just be littered with wild Pokemon. So you can go to and you can go to a certain spot and catch as many as you can.
Wow, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and oftentimes there were some like abnormal Pokemon for like that specific area, or there would be some rare ones in there. So that was the idea behind the safari event. And now because of coronavirus, nobody can have fun.
Rip.
Jacob, what do you think? I can hear you.
I think of all people, you deserve coronavirus.
Me?
Yeah.
Why?
Mister, I washed my hands for 5 minutes now.
Oh my god. Okay, let's fucking stop right now. Jacob was creeping on me. I went to the bathroom. I washed my hands like any normal person. And then he, like 5 minutes later, came up and asked me, How long do you wash your hands for? I was like, I don't know, the normal amount. He's like, no.
I need to give more backstory on
Okay,
this.
go for it.
So, Mr. J over here is, when I say scared of coronavirus, I mean like like deathly scared of corona. Like he does not want to hear the words coronavirus. Otherwise, he will go and leave work and go home and just sleep.
The only corona I want is beer.
And so, my fiance Kylie told me that one of the biggest because I was like, "How do you know?" And she's like, "Well, they can't breathe. That's like the biggest side effect." And so, I was hunched over a desk, pretending like I couldn't breathe, waiting for Jay to come out of the restroom because he doesn't poop at work, but he pees.
I didn't know you peed. I thought you didn't pee either.
I pee.
He pees. And so I was waiting, and I kept like pretending to breathe very heavily. And this fucking dick, I'm pretty convinced he knew.
No, I didn't.
He was washing his hands for like you just hear him rub his hands together with soap for like 2 minutes, like at every fucking crevice. And then after a while, I was like, dude, fuck this. Like, I can't pretend to breathe hard for 2 minutes. So I was just like, whatever. And then I went over, just like started chilling. And I was like, dude, why did you wash your hands for so long? He's like, why were you listening to me? He totally turned the fuck. He pulled an Uno reverse card on me.
Yeah. Well, dude, he made it seem like I was washing my hands for ages. I washed it for like a minute, 2 minutes maybe. And
30 seconds.
Yeah, whatever. And later on that night, we were getting ready to close up, and I was counting money, and I was like, "Oh, money's fucking gross. I hate touching it." So I washed my hands. So I was washing my hands, and he starts standing in a corner, making direct eye contact with me, and making a weird face and mumbling stuff to himself. And I was like, "Okay, whatever." So I'm sitting there washing my hands, and then I was like, what the fuck is he doing? I'm Jake, what are you doing? And he starts counting out loud. And I was like, oh my God, you're counting how many seconds it's taking for me to wash my hands? So I wrap up washing my hands, and he goes, you take forever to wash your hands. I was like, at least I fucking wash my hands. My hands have never been cleaner. Yeah, he literally eats stuff out of the bins, dude. Like, he will pick something up out of there, and then he'll lick his finger because it was wet from like the
5-second rule, baby.
You probably have the most insane immune system.
The trash cans at work.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. Dude,
well, if you don't finish your lunch, I don't want it to go to waste.
Well, here's the other thing, too. Maybe I am a little paranoid. I don't like touching door handles or light switches. I hate touching people's, like, phones or shaking their hands. I don't share drinks. I don't go poop.
This is what I think. I think this is super ironic.
Yeah.
You will go open the door with your hand 5 days or 4 days out of the week. But then one day you'll decide to, I'm going to leave my hand in my pocket and open the door today.
No, I always do that.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
This one time I remember Jay, if I remember the situation correctly, he had to poop so bad. He was like at work, dude. He's like, dude, I have to poop. I have to poop so bad. And he's like, I have to go home, like right now. And I can't remember. I don't remember if they made you use like short-term or short-term leave. Or you just had to take your lunch early or something. Yeah. But he like hobbled out to his little I think he used to have an Audi, like his little Audi, and like just drove right out of the parking lot straight home so he could go poop.
So here's what happened. I lived like 2 minutes away from work, and I ran very carefully to my car, peeled out, kicked the door open to my apartment, took a dump, did my business, washed my hands, and came back to work. And I actually, you know what? I did my business, laid down, took like a 20-minute nap, then came back.
So I think that all depends.
What?
On what?
No, like seriously, Jay, you should grab some Depends. Like you could just shit your pants at work if you had some Depends. That's from Love Guru. I stole that joke.
That was great.
That joke gave me cancer.
Oh. I give you a coupon.
So, dude, I wash my hands a normal fucking amount. It's not a big deal.
Not a big deal, man.
You're lying. But we can move on.
All right, Jay, do you have any other news?
Yeah, I do actually. There's one more thing in here that's not like super big news, but do you guys remember seeing in the in the news that there was going to be a Mortal Kombat animated movie called Scorpion's Revenge?
No,
No.
sounds dope though.
Okay, cool. Well, there is totally going to be a movie. They just released a red band trailer. It promises to deliver as much extreme violence and bad language as possible. So,
Is it called Mortal Kombat what? I'm sorry?
Scorpion's Revenge. And then it should actually be available digitally April 12th, so it's like right around the corner.
Ooh, okay. It's
Yep.
like the old school animation too.
Yep, that's right.
I'm pumped on that, dude.
Yeah, and the other thing too, it's like it actually has a good voice cast. So go out, check it out. Once it's available digitally, I'm sure I'm gonna watch it, so I'll cover it.
Joel McHale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it too, probably. Anything else you'd like to talk about, sir?
Nope.
Hey, you want to start our 10 and 20 then?
Yeah, actually I do. So I'm gonna be covering movies from 20 years ago. There's a fuck ton in here, actually, to be fair. I'm not going to cover every single one. Do you guys remember The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp?
I only remember Steins Gate, which is an anime that I haven't watched.
I remember Patricia actually was obsessed with that movie for a second. I don't know if it was because it had Johnny Depp or if it was because it was satanic, but she was obsessed with that movie.
I remember that. Like, I remember seeing it on VHS. It had like fire on the cover. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Beyond the Mat, that was a documentary that followed around WWF wrestlers, specifically Mick Foley, and kind of like life beyond the mat. And it was actually really critically acclaimed. And then the other thing that was cool is that like it talks about some of the injuries and some of the trials and tribulations that like you don't see, which is really cool if you were a fan of the WWF back then.
Were you a big fan of the WWF back in the day?
Like that's the era that I actually do like, the Attitude Era. So I thought it was an excellent movie. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. Here's Jacob's favorite, Erin Brockovich. It's about the lawyer lady that has a really big case and played by Julia Roberts. So you love her laugh, don't you?
He's Russian. Yeah, Julia Roberts. Yeah.
Yeah. And, Jacob, you like Final Destination also, right?
Actually, I fucking hate Final Destination.
Why?
I think that movie was fucking stupid.
Why?
Because they just die. Like, what's the point?
Because it's a horror movie.
Fuck
Well,
that.
the point
No,
is they try to escape death, my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay. Final Destination. I fucking cannot. I didn't even want to watch Parasite because I thought it was scary.
Oh,
Final
I forgot.
Destination is the most joke of a fucking horror movie I've ever seen in my life.
Huh. Okay. Well,
Okay.
I think you better reconsider your take on horror movies, and especially Parasite, which we'll probably get into later.
Yep.
Romeo Must Die. Did any of you watch that?
Nope.
Okay, so this was kind of like a modern take on a Romeo and Juliet. It has Jet Li, Aaliyah, DMX, a bunch of other people. Anthony Anderson. It was actually a really good movie. It's kind of cheesy, but it's a total like action romance, if that makes any sense. It had a total banger on the soundtrack. It was called I think it was called Try Again. It was really good.
What?
Your mom. And then lastly, this is the only one that I'll go into because there's like I said, there's a fuck ton of movies. High Fidelity, which has now been redone into a TV series on Hulu.
Wow.
Did you guys ever watch that?
Nope.
Okay, well, it had a very, very likable John Cusack. It's about a record store owner that, like, I think it's based off of a book, actually, of the same name. It's about a record store owner that kind of tells the story of his love and loss over the years and how he is kind of like kind of hopeless and doesn't feel like he's going to fall in love again anytime soon. It's a romantic comedy. Had Jack Black and I think what was Lenny Kravitz's wife's name? The one that's married to Aquaman now.
No idea.
Damn. I don't remember her name either, but I think she was Lisa Bonet.
Yeah.
That's who it is. Yeah, so she's in that, and Catherine Zeta-Jones is also in that. So there you go.
Real famous back in the 90s.
Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She was on those T-Mobile commercials. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, nuts. But that's it for the 20 years ago movies that I feel like going over.
Here's the 10 years ones. There's some interesting ones. Nothing crazy. The big one that I see here is God of War 3 and Assassin's Creed 2. Were both like really good games. Other than that, the only other notable one I see here is Metro 2033, which is obviously popular today, that series. Other than that, the other one which actually is nostalgic for me, is Red Steel 2 on Wii. You guys remember Red Steel?
No.
It was like a
Nope.
Wii game where you could use the Wiimotes as like swords and shit.
Oh, like a samurai game?
Yeah, exactly. I haven't even thought about that game in a long time. It's like samurais with some revolvers and stuff.
That was kind of a banger.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting game for the time on Wii. I remember actually renting that game from Blockbuster. Throwback. But that's all I got. And hey, I know you guys have been eagerly awaiting this, and I know you watched it. Who wants to kick off our discussion on Parasite?
Jacob should
It
do
sucks.
You thought it sucked?
it. You have to be
So-
kidding, right? You're kidding, right?
No, it was actually really good.
Okay, good.
Let me tell you that if you are listening to this and you haven't watched Parasite, I really recommend you go watch it. It is a very unique movie. It's unlike a lot of movies I've seen before. It's just way different. I will say that the family is like, I don't know, I describe them as lovable scammers. I think that each one's interesting and the way they take advantage of this like family.
I don't think they're lovable. I think they come from a different point of view.
They're kind of despicable.
Yeah. They're doing this literally to fuck over these people.
I thought they were, by lovable, I meant that they were like
You meant that
interesting
sarcastically?
no, I didn't. I didn't mean lovable, because you're right. That's a bad term for it. But I thought they were kind of fun and interesting, and the one young kid, I just thought that they did a really good job, basically intertwining themselves in these people's lives. And when they came in, they were actually doing a good job at all their jobs. The kid was actually smart with the math, and he was a good driver and all that shit.
No, he wasn't a good driver. He had a car that drove itself.
What? Is that what it was?
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. They picked out a car that drove itself so he didn't actually have to drive, and the navigation used its own navigation to drive.
I didn't pick up on that.
I didn't pick up on that either. I know what he did. What I thought he did was he went to the dealership and really learned the ins and outs of the car, so he's familiar with it. And then, because he was a driver in like a previous life, he actually was a driver.
That's possible. I didn't. I was more of a. It's more of a gray area for me on the driving scene. I thought that they got a car that drove itself. That way, he didn't come off as a bad driver, because I didn't think he was a driver. I thought that they were lying about all that stuff. So he went and said, "Hey, I need something that like I can drive, but like I don't need to drive," and that's basically why he got a Mercedes.
Uh-huh. Well, the guy already had a Mercedes. Like that was already his car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, and if I remember correctly, the kid got a ride home and dropped the panties off in the car, so he knew which car it was. So then he could tell his dad, be familiar with this car, blah 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 blah. It was it was interesting because I went into this film, I don't know about you guys, with literally no idea what the movie was about. Like,
Same.
I thought maybe it was a horror movie. That's what I was thinking like, initially. And then, like, as you're watching it, they're just opportunists and like scammers. And like the way he just basically lies and his sister can just forge documents.
Yeah.
Also, I have a fucking bone to pick with that. So, yeah, she's forging documents, but dude, all that document forgery was literally just putting a couple of watermarks on a Word document.
That's true.
Like that's so easy to do. If that's all document forgery took, then call me fucking whatever the hell her name was, because I'd kill in South Korea with document forgery.
You could do it.
Yeah, well, yeah, clearly if all it is putting fucking watermarks on a Word document, that's like built in.
I do feel like I kind of had an advantage over you two. Maybe not as much Scott, but definitely Jay, when it came to like watching the video, because I'm very used to reading subtitles and watching a video at the same time.
That's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
So I just want you to know I'm better than both of you.
You just proclaimed that you were better at watching something because you're better at reading subtitles. What the fuck?
Yep.
You're
All right.
more prepared for the movie.
I absolutely was.
That might
I-
be
I-
the worst take I've ever heard you give in our entire friendship.
Anyway,
Go on.
do you guys want to like break it down like per scene, or do you guys just want to say like things that we noticed were kind of cool? There's some things I hated about the movie too. Actually.
Okay, so wait, Jacob, tell me your favorite scene.
Favorite scene?
Yeah.
The sex scene.
Okay, clearly.
I actually thought
You mean where they're on the couch?
Yeah. I actually thought that was hilarious, by the way. I don't know why, but I think my favorite scene was the scene where that girl was coming up from that hidden cellar to basically alert the owners that, hey, like, they're trapping me here. And that mom kicked her all the way down the stairs,
Whack her
and she
head.
just smacks her head.
Yeah. If it was
that was
sped up like a quarter speed and there was Benny Hill music behind it, that would have been hilarious.
I think so. I also thought it was kind of annoying how they never noticed the cracked, like, glass and shit under the table, and then they hid under the table.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of
that
like,
whole scene was like they didn't notice them. But
Well, they smelled them though.
yeah, which
Yeah.
actually is a big portion of what like my end like assumption, or I guess feeling of this movie was.
Yeah.
Is really, it was like, I just put it here, it's all kind of a look at class. The whole
Yeah.
time the guy was like, they were disgusted by poor people. They like said they had a smell. Even the little kid was like, they smell. Like,
Well-
they have a smell to them.
They have
Well, let's
the
get
same
into that in a little bit, but Scott, what was your favorite scene in the entire movie?
The scene that I like really liked was the scene where the family goes like away, and I even noted this. These people literally have a total disregard for any personal space. Like, they don't give a shit. Like none of them. They're like totally open to going through their shit, eating their food.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, just reading her diary, and I was like, okay, so the whole family was on the same like page with the fact that they were just going to be skis balls. So probably that one when they're watching the TV, and then the family calls and says they're on their way back. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
What about yours, Jay?
I have one specifically. So do you guys remember the scene where they find out that the housekeeper is allergic to peaches? Well,
Yeah.
That was my favorite scene when they finally like stage it to where, she has tuberculosis, and they ultimately like reach into the bin and they pull out the tissue that she had just used and covered it in that hot sauce that looked like blood.
Uh-huh.
And like everything just came up to a boiling point and they just asked her to leave. That was my first favorite scene. That was like the funniest / most like creative scene. And then the next best scene, I think, was the revelation of the cellar. Just because like I didn't know what was gonna happen. That was probably like the movie zigs, zags, and then zigs again. That's the only way I describe it for everybody. That was the point where it zigged, I think, because we kind of knew what was going to happen until that point. And dude, it was completely unexpected. And at that point, I was like, oh shit, this is about to get weird and paranormal or something like that. But, that was my second favorite scene. Just because I personally wouldn't have let the housekeeper back in. It was a bad move. And if they had just not done that.
Fuck her, dude. I would have told her, no, go away. There's no way.
Right. Or come back when everybody's here. So, they have the discretion of letting you back.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, just the way in general, another one of my favorite scenes is they're fighting with that lady. It's around that same time, and she just takes those peaches and just like rubbing them all over her face, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that's got to be super brutal.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you guys have any least favorite scenes?
I know. I think my least favorite scene. And the one, I don't know, and I'm sure maybe you guys might disagree, is just the scene where the dad, like, decided to stab, like, the other dad. And I was just like, why? Like, I understand that he was upset that he was, like, looking down on him for being poor, but I don't know, I just felt like it was a jump. It went from, this guy, I guess, like, being not friends with him, but I never got the feeling that he hated him, but obviously he must have. And then he just randomly stabs the dad.
No, dude, it wasn't random.
That wasn't random.
Are you out of your mind?
That was the most ideological part of the whole movie.
Yeah, dude. So he saw them as subhuman. His daughter had just been stabbed, and he didn't want to help her. He was trying to get everybody away. And you could tell that he didn't even want to touch him. He was just the help. And then at that point, he decides, you know what? Fuck these people. They don't think that we're human. I'm going to show them, give them a taste of their own medicine, essentially. And then he took it to the next level at that point.
But you have to remember, he thought that. But you also have to remember that his son, after having a seizure, has 15 minutes to get to the hospital. So you could also look at it as he didn't give a fuck about anybody except for his son.
Yeah, that's another good point.
So it's toss and turn.
Guy, like, yeah, I get both ways. It was just a jump for me, but I understand what you guys are saying too.
Yeah.
But just that whole scene was like really odd to me. Although it was powerful when the guy just walks out and you're like, oh fuck, okay.
Yeah.
He's just like bleeding and like standing there with the knife.
I thought it was kind of annoying that nobody could do anything against a guy with just a fucking knife. Like there's like 20 people there.
Yeah. But I think that it goes to the point that like the rich people or the affluent people don't want to even touch the poor people. You know what I mean? Because they see them as so subhuman that they won't even touch them. So maybe that's what it was. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But my least favorite scene, and it's hard to pick just because I think the movie was done extremely well, and it's hard to pick a least favorite scene because everything feeds into the next part of the story. But I just found it so implausible that there wouldn't be cameras inside the house. And I just think it was so stupid that they decided to throw a little soiree while the family was out. Like, that's, number one, really irresponsible. Number two, extremely sloppy. And I want to say that clumsiness and sloppiness is essentially the theme of the entire movie for me, from like a storytelling point of view. But you think that like eventually the family would have just like had like cameras installed in the house so that they could see what was going on.
Yeah.
But I
guess they were just so
it didn't fit with the plot. Yeah.
I don't think they had enough money for it.
Yeah, that's true. They were probably super poor. But yeah, and like I don't know, like going into the part where there was a camera for the outside that had been cut, the power had been cut for, but no cameras on the inside. That's bullshit.
I mean, I don't know, man, because
I'm poor as fuck and I have cameras.
Talking system.
No, man, I have cameras in my house and I'm poor as fuck.
Oh.
It's true.
Scott, you got a least favorite?
I already said it.
Oh, well, my biggest bickerment with the thing was I thought it was cool how they started off, showed their house, everything. That was fine. But when they kept They kept they're making a lot of money, all working for these rich people, and they kept revisiting their house, which I guess it was kind of like a reflection of like, hey, even though they're living this alter ego, they still live in this poor small house. But like, I felt it annoying, like, oh, that guy's pissing again outside of our house. Like, I don't know. I thought that was kind of useless.
That was stupid too. The guy that just randomly pissed everywhere.
I thought that was so annoying. I was like, dude, like, there's this. You could just take this out of the movie, and it would still be. I think it'd be better. I think it's just a waste of time. And then also that their friend recommended him as the like tutor.
I think they're old friends, from.
I just thought that his friend would have a more of a role in the movie, and you only saw him for that first part, and then he was gone.
Yeah.
So I thought they could have utilized him a little bit more, but that's about it.
And I don't know, maybe it might be cultural too, but that boy is way too old for that little girl.
No.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Perfect age.
Shut up, Jacob.
Shut up with your fucking waifu. Yeah, well, hey, let's talk, what goofs and gags?
Yeah.
You thought maybe were silly?
So, you know how, like, people made fun of, Avatar for using the papyrus script as their title text? Parasite essentially did that exact same thing, except it was all in, like, South Korean. Or it was all in Korean. So, like, I thought that was kind of weird. That jumped out immediately to me. And then, like I said before, the whole, like, idea of clumsiness, that should be, like, a theme for the storytelling.
You think that the subtitles looked like they were written on papyrus?
No, not the subtitles. The actual title shot of the movie.
Like
I'll see if I can. Yeah, I'll see if I can find. Yeah, I'll see if I can find the title shot. Are you high?
Which is even the cover to it is really odd.
I didn't look at the cover.
Because, like, in the cover, again, not understanding at all what's going on. In essence, it's a picture of the father, and behind him is the son, both with black bars over their eyes. And then the rich mother and the rich father laying, like, relaxing with white bars on their eyes. And then just, like, the legs from a body. And this tells, like we said, when I saw this told me nothing about the movie, which I think is a strength.
I can't find where it shows the title, like, in the opening credits, but the opening credits, it I swear to God, it looked like papyrus. The actual movie poster, though, is a completely normal font, which is whatever.
It looks normal to me.
Yeah, shut up, Jacob. The other thing that I was about to talk about was, like, the whole clumsiness thing. I thought it was so bizarre how, like, somebody just slipping on the stairs alerted the housekeeper because they all fell down the steps to the cellar. Like, why the fuck are you all following them around anyways? Like, maybe just, like, don't, like, lean forward and, like, have a secure footing, because, like, you're definitely going to want to be careful around people that you didn't know were down there. Or just don't go down there. I'm sure the mom has it covered because she's a fucking shot putter. But the other thing too, like, everything kept happening where I was like, where they were scrambling around. They, like, had, like, several near cases of being found in the house. It just, everything in that fucking movie was like, stop being so fucking clumsy. Like, don't do that. Just, like, use your fucking head. And that's the only, like, bone I have to pick with it. But oh, dude, I found the fucking title for shot in the opening credits. I'm gonna send this to you guys.
Okay.
Oh my god, it pisses me off.
I feel like I kind of remember this, like, but I don't for sure.
Oh, you will.
Oh, I'm, like, prepped, ready, physically, mentally. But yeah, it's, like I said, I definitely thought it was a really, really good.
Oh my god, that looks horrible.
Yeah. So that bugged me.
Did you almost just turn it off when you saw that?
Very nearly. I'm happy that it didn't, because it was, like, an excellent movie.
We're talking a little bit about Goose and Gags. I thought that whole thing where that guy just every single night did like Morse code every single night
Mhm.
forever was silly.
Yeah, I thought that was a little unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the only really one that I kind of note. I just put in my note, crazy light man. But yeah, then there's obviously like regular things. This isn't Goose and Gags, but just how like they did a good job with music, ominous music. I put specifically ominous music overlaying happy moments. That's pretty common, but I thought they did a good job with that.
Yeah.
Who was y'all's favorite character?
Oh, no goofs and gags for me.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Go over your goofs and gags,
No,
Jacob.
No, it's okay, man. So I thought the funny parts were the guy holding the rock as a sentimental thing, which ended up playing no fucking role
I know.
at all. Like,
Well, he did get bashed over the head with it, didn't he?
exactly. The only thing that happened to that rock was he got hit in the fucking head, and then got hit again and lost so much blood that he should have been dead. He should not be alive.
I agree.
That rock, I feel like they're trying to do some symbolism with the rock or whatever, and they totally butchered it. Like that fucking rock.
It was petrified
didn't do
wood,
anything.
right? It was given to
It
him
was
as
a rock.
it was given to him as a gift from that one dude that recommended him.
Yeah,
for
and
good luck.
Yeah.
it didn't do anything. It didn't play any purpose in the movie other than he got
Actually,
fucked up with it.
I'm pretty sure that the rock, they had good luck all the way till it fell over, and then they started having bad luck.
It's covered in the doo-doo water.
Yeah, so like they were having good luck with it, and then it fell, and the luck like all started going down. I don't know for sure, but that's what I thought I saw.
I don't know, and then I thought it was funny that like at the end of the movie he's like, "Well, I just became rich and bought the house, so my dad could just live with us."
Dude, when that happened, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Shut
I
the
was like,
fuck
oh my
up.
God.
I'm going to turn this fucking movie off right now.
He's like, "Well, you know what? I guess I just become rich. That's just the answer to this problem, right?"
Yeah.
That's my only thing I can do is just get rich.
I'm so
I was
glad
like,
that it was
okay,
just
whatever.
a total, like, dream. It was a what if. I was going to be fucking pissed if that was for real.
I thought that's pretty much all my gifts and gags.
Yeah. Well, who's your favorite character then, Jacob?
Probably the girl, his sister.
Yeah. She's really awesome.
I don't know
Your
why,
sister.
but
You like Asian girls?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
I like Asian girls, and dude, she was just, things I would do.
Christ.
You want to know how masturbating so loud makes it so my mic doesn't pick it up?
What's the rest of that? What did he end up saying?
The anime has led me to cry millions of times.
This is an anime, you bitch.
You have the best drops for him. Seriously.
And this one I have for
Yeah.
you.
Hi guys, it's me Scott.
I think that's the best one.
But my
favorite,
favorite
yeah.
character, like I don't know why, but I did like the dad, the poor dad. I don't know why. He just, I like that he was like, he's just trying his best for his family and just having to kind of be shitty too. But
One thing I kind of have a bickerment against the dad is the son played all the smart roles to get the whole family in, but whenever the family was in a pinch, they said, "Oh, Dad, what should we do? What's the plan?" And he always had this like quote unquote plan, but like the son was smarter than the dad. So I never understood that.
didn't he say something that
Yeah.
it was something like you always have a plan, but I don't remember what he said.
Your plan is no plan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
Because if you have a plan, you can fail. If you don't have a plan, you'll never fail.
And that was his
Perfect.
plan.
That was the plan. Just to not have a plan and just if you fail, your plan worked.
So, like, when, like they need a plan, they need something to do, they always relied on the father. But the father was such a fuck up and such like a,
I feel like both of the parents
I
were.
don't have a plan, that it's just so funny that they have this genius son who bought this fucking house, and they relied on their dad.
They didn't buy it. He didn't buy the house. That was all.
That was
He
a
did.
dream
At the
sequence.
end of the movie, he
no,
bought
it was
the
a dream
house.
sequence.
I thought that was like a flash. Like he
Yeah.
was flashing that he wanted to do it, and then it showed well, actually, he's going to do something else. Like that was
Yeah.
like a daydream.
It was a dream sequence.
He didn't actually buy the house. He was like imagining buying it.
Oh, I thought it was him in the future
No,
buying the house.
you didn't
That's, I
finish the
feel like,
movie
what they
then.
wanted you to think, but then at the end it came back and he was like, "Now I just have to get rich."
Yeah, that's why I would have been fucking mad if that was the actual movie. It was a dream sequence.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright.
Okay.
You're wrong, but okay.
No, what? We both
definitely
saw the same
became
movie.
rich.
No, he definitely did not.
Oh, you're so wrong.
Jay, who's your
Okay.
favorite character?
I'm gonna agree with Jacob. I thought that the sister was the most funny, and I thought she kind of had like the best kind of grift on the entire family. The part where she's talking about like the art therapy and stuff, I thought that it was just funny. She was bullshitting the gullible
I
lady.
think-
Just gullible.
yeah, I think
like,
she was the
'cause
best-
She was gullible.
Best actor.
Yeah.
When that art scene happened, I was like,
She was
Oh.
the smartest in that group. I think even more so
Oh, yeah.
than the boy, because the boy kept like thinking with his dick, which is gross.
what's wrong with that?
Oh, I don't know. I just think that it kind of led to
Pussy
their
comes
demise.
first.
I think it just led to their demise. But yeah, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that the girl actually had like she was able to think on her feet really quickly. Like even by putting her underwear in that guy's car, that was genius.
Yeah,
And she came up
planted
with
the
that like.
bomb.
Yeah, just completely on the fly. So, I don't know, she's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm with you. I guess, do we guys have wrap-up thoughts?
What do you
Yeah.
guys grade it?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to.
I'll give it I'm gonna give it a B.
Why?
I thought that it was unique. It was unlike any other movie I had seen, which is very difficult to do these days. I thought that it used shots really interestingly. One big thing that I did notice, and I don't know if you guys picked up on, is just in general the lower class family was underground, and the upper class family was elevated way up high. Just their actual homes were symbolic of kind of where they were in terms of social class. Things like that I thought were really cool, and I thought the characters were interesting, and I had no idea what to expect, and that's something that I don't feel like happens that much.
I agree. I noticed the symbolism right away too.
Jacob, what about you?
I would give it a fucking watch.
Oh,
But-
yeah, that's right. It's either watch or not watch.
Yeah, that's an absolute watch.
Well,
Or an absolute watch. Watch, not watch, or absolute watch.
Yeah, it's an absolute.
so I'm a little more curious about why you gave it a watch, because initially you wouldn't even watch it by yourself, especially since
So-
you moved into your new house.
Oh my God. You bitch. I didn't want to fucking talk about this.
Oh,
So-
that you were too afraid to watch the movie? So you wanted to
I
watch it at
asked
work?
Jay, I was like, hey, they watched the movie before I did. I said, is this movie scary? And he's like, yeah. And I was like people living in the wall is scary, but I said that without any context, didn't know what this movie was about. And he's like, oh yeah. And I was like, fuck, dude, I just bought this house. I don't want people living in my fucking walls. I don't want to watch a scary movie.
And now you have
Like-
people wandering around your front lawn.
Yeah. Exactly. This is fucking movie's bad luck.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that.
got
I didn't
one
want
of
to watch
those
scary. Oh, I should have got that rock that had no purpose other than I would have got my own face smashed in.
But then you can go off and buy the house again when you become
Yeah,
rich and famous.
exactly. And Kylie's living in our fucking crawl space.
Yeah.
Go save her. And then I don't know. To Jay, I was comparing this to another movie I watched, 10 Cloverfield Lane. And I was expecting something as kind of mind-numbing or confusing, more not numbing, confusing as that movie. And I don't think it had as many turns and corners as that movie did, but I'd still watch it. But I think 10 Cloverfield Lane does a better job than Parasite did.
Is that the one with John Goodman?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but yeah.
How do you not know who John Goodman is?
That's kind of a good question. I don't know how you don't know who John Goodman is.
Shut the
Is that the old dude?
up.
Yeah, it's from Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
He's the teddy bear in Toy Story 4.
Is he?
Shut the fuck up.
He is. Fuck you.
That was John Goodman saying "shut the fuck up."
Oh.
Jay, tell us.
I think that I'm gonna give this a B+. No, that's good.
Why is it that we just listened to you and we didn't insult you on your rating?
You did.
No, we insulted your categories. We didn't insult your rating specifically.
No, I just insulted him.
I didn't
That's
insult your
different.
movie choice. I insulted the whole system.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and then I just insulted you. That's different.
That's different.
Yeah.
Let the man talk.
No, I gave it a B+. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it had lots of twists and turns. Like, the minute you think that you have the movie figured out, you don't. And then when you think you have it figured out finally, you still don't. And then the other thing that was really cool about it is all the symbolism and all the story itself that it was trying to tell beyond the actual story that you saw. And then the only sort of gripes I have with it would just be that it was a little too clumsy, and I felt like the way that it was written fit together, not like a puzzle, but like square goes in the square, square peg goes in the square hole, triangle peg goes in the triangle hole. If that makes any sense, it was too perfect.
Like that shapes game you played when you were 5 years old.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only gripe I have with it, because like, again, with the clumsiness, that really did bug me. I wish they had written something better instead of like somebody slipping down the steps or something like that, or the fact that they all wanted to like throw a stupid party in the person's house when they left for a camping trip and it started fucking raining. Like, you have to think ahead. Like, it just didn't make any sense. But yeah, it was a good movie. Gave it a solid B+. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you watch it. I paid like $5 to watch it on YouTube, and it was worth every penny.
Any closing thoughts that you guys have on the movie or the podcast in general?
I do have one. Just side note, one thing I thought was kind of funny. Just backstory on me watching the movie. I actually had a coworker named Kai who rented it. He wanted to listen to the pod, so he rented it, watched it, so he could listen to us review it. And he gave me his logins for Xfinity. And
That's super
I don't
nice
think
of
I've
him.
told you guys this. I got all the way to the last 30 minutes of the movie, and I was like, and then his sub ended, and I was like, oh fuck.
You had to buy it.
But I was like, oh, you know what? That's enough. Like, the last 30 minutes isn't that important. And then we ended up postponing this, and I was like, fuck. Like, I really need to watch it. So I bought it for $5, and the last 30 minutes was the best part of the movie.
Well, you only watched like the last like 20 minutes then, because you thought that the last part was that dream sequence.
That was like 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
The sub ended when they were under the table.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I was like, oh fuck, whatever. Like, they get away, whatever happens, something. I did not expect the guy to get fucking killed.
Yeah, dude, me either. There was a lot that I didn't expect in that movie.
So you're welcome for this. At first I thought I got away with not paying any money into this movie, and I ended up spending $5 for it. It's not that much money, but
Yeah, after you just randomly went out and spent $300 on a stupid fucking magic deck.
30.
I don't even know if I'm going to use
I spent $30 on a magic
You
deck
just said that you paid $300 for a magic deck, like a
a
starter.
year ago.
Oh lord.
Now
Hey,
it's worth like 40.
So next week, because Jacob's like really sad and he's been crying a lot, we're gonna be watching Totoro. That's something that we've had a couple different listeners request because they were excited to hear us, and we ended up watching Ninja Scrolls. So Totoro, we're doing a bonus. You know what? I've been thinking a lot about this. I'm gonna pass it by you guys. What do you think of calling this the TMC, the Triggered Movie Club?
Oh wow.
Do you like that?
Yeah, let's do
I actually
it.
kind of like that.
I was thinking about that last night. So, well, at least for now, the TMC is back next week with My Neighbor Totoro. So shout outs. Hey, Jay Henny, thanks for listening. He was really upset we didn't actually get to do a pod last week. My son was sick, and everybody's sick, and blah, 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 blah. Shout out to Patrick, Robbie, Kat, Raven. You're all great people. Yeah.
Jay?
Yeah, I also did have some people that were a little triggered about us not having an episode last week either. So, Patricia, Jacob's mother, Neb Notlaw's mom, Katie, Javad, and Raven's mom. So, this one goes out to Raven's mom.
Oh.
And Jacob.
Alright, shout out to mi madre, Kylie. Shout out to I'm gonna give a shout out to Jax, Mr. Henny, Kai, because he's actually gonna start listening to this shit now, and I'm actually excited. And then shout out to everybody else except for Danny, Mr. Panda.
Oh,
Fuck Panda.
wait. So we have to give a huge shout out to Panda. He's actually watching the Bachelor finale as we speak. He's super stoked on it. He fucking hated my take on the idea of the Bachelor, and he really wants to chat about the Bachelor, even if it's like for 5 minutes on the pod. So I don't know if we ever do talk about Bachelor. He would definitely have to be on the pod just because he's so passionate about it. I've never seen anybody as passionate about a stupid TV show as he is about Bachelor.
He cries. Like, I'm not kidding, he cries about it.
Wow.
Yeah, he sucks his thumb and cries. I have video footage of it.
Jessica.
Hey, one last little announcement. If you stuck with us this long, we're currently in some talks with an old co-host who might be interested in coming back for a singular episode. A little Neb Notlaw's been wanting to come back just for an episode. So that might come in the near future. Anyway, thank you guys. It's been great. Goodbye.
Laters.
All right, good job, boys.
That was a long episode.
It was about normal.